In this lecture, I'm going to explain some misconceptions that people have about blogging. Now, misconceptions can be viewed in the form of some kind of preconceived notion that they have about blogging, maybe a fear or a leaning towards a certain feeling about blogging, certain ideas, maybe that they've heard from others, and we're going to kind of test them out to see if they're really true or not. So I'm going to talk about 5 of the more common misconceptions that people have about blogging in general. The first one, you have to know something about computers to blog. Well, is that really true? Do you have to know how to build a computer, to fix or repair a computer, or be a techie in order to be able to blog? Well, that's not true. You do need to know, however, how to access the internet, be able to type on your keyboard, and if you're going to blog, you're going to have to know a few more things as far as being able to write a post and setting up your blog, but really you don't have to know a whole lot about computers in order to blog. The next one, it's going to cost you money to get a blog. Well, this is a misconception because the truth is that you can get a blog for free from the companies and sites like blogger.com. You can even go to wordpress.com, Weebly. There's so many companies and businesses that offer free websites. So that's not true. You must be an expert in order to blog. Well, if you think about it, there's a lot of celebrities and popular TV personalities who have shows that are not necessarily an expert, but they have an entertainment value and they could be informative and people will watch them. So you don't, and they have a platform where it goes out to their audience, which would be a show or whatever, or maybe they're on the radio or whatever, and they're able to entertain their audience or provide some kind of value to your audience. So as far as blogging, that's your online platform. And the truth is that is a misconception. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a chef in order to have a cooking show, for example, or anything like that. But you do need to have some kind of passion towards the topics that you talk about or an interest in them, or be a person that likes to share things with others, um, like to give your opinion or tips, feedback, or whatever. So it's not necessarily true that you have to be an expert in order to blog. Now, if you are an expert, of course, that is an advantage to you, but it's not a requirement. The next thing, misconception, you must know coding, HTML, CSS, etc. I don't know how to code and I have a blog. So this is not true. You don't have to be know all of the ins and outs as far as the back end of setting up a blog and coding and all of that to be able to blog. In fact, a lot of those who work on the back end, these who are working like technical support and things like that, they have set up, or technical experts have set up applications to make it easy for people like you and me by setting up WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, and others to help you to set up a blog with just the click of a mouse. You have to be a writer. Well, this is not true. There are a lot of different blogs, as I discussed in the previous lecture, that people may have and obtain without writing at all. For example, they may have a photo blog, a video blog, or something like that. Other forms that they can still be able to get content out there without necessarily writing. Now, you don't have to be a writer and have written books and published novels and been in magazines to be able to have a blog, but you will need to be able to write a sentence, have good grammar, and if you're not very skilled at those things, you could always hire a writer for a minimal cost to help you write content for your blog. So this is also a misconception. You don't have to be a writer in order to be able to have a blog. Here's the real truth about blogging. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have to be an expert, a writer, know something about computers, have money, or know coding to start a blog. The real truth is that the more you blog, the better you will become. The better you will become at your writing, the things that you can talk about. It just happens naturally over time. It's like a gradual process, almost like you can view growing, being a gardener. You start off, you plant seeds and fertilize them, water and all of that, and you watch them grow. And as the years go on, you get better and better at it. So that's also true with your blog, being a blogger. It'll be gradual. You'll learn more and it'll be natural. And that's the way that you want it to be. Also, anybody can blog. Like I mentioned before, even teens can start a blog. Blogging is enjoyable and rewarding, and it really is, because you get feedback from your blog visitors, and maybe they told you, well, look, you helped me with your blog post, you've been able to help me to deal with this, or maybe you've helped me, you've opened my eyes to this or something like that. The positive feedback that you get from others, just knowing that you've been able to help them or encourage them in some sort of way, can make blogging very enjoyable. So, we talked about some of the 5 misconceptions of blogging that people have in general. And so, we're going to continue this course and we're going to talk about some more things that you need to know in order to start a blog. So, make sure you join me.